Good Sunday morning. This is hashtag everyone talking about hashtag everything. I'm Kate Doherty with the Radical Ryan, the lovely Laura. Actually, the high octane Olivia.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Oh my gosh. We always struggle with this with my own name.
Very
We're
nice,
getting
though.
creative
I like that,
here.
though.
And Magnificent Mac is on his way, but the Practically Perfect Penny is getting ready to be grumsy mumsy and all the things with
Tis
the
the
holiday season. It is. So, first up, if you have been under a rock and you are not aware, Rhinestones and Rodeo is coming up January 10th.
What's that?
You're funny, Ryan. Anyway, please get those tickets. www.upaddowncountry.com. Again, upaddowncountry.com. We have a plethora of amazing art, some super cool silent auction items. We are going to have unbelievable food, and it is absolutely in time for a fantastic stocking stuffer. We would really appreciate your love and support. It is 15 years. And we are grateful. We've got the Culver Stockton Wildcats, the Marion County R2 FFA helping out. We have got people from all over the community just pitching in. We've got Food by the Patio by Neiman Foods,
right,
by Gym City Pizzeria. We have got, anything
and everything. It's my favorite night of the year.
It is a great night of the year.
It's
so
every year.
Did you miss it last year? Because you had been coming home from Florida.
I have been coming home. Last year I missed it because I'm trying to remember. I think my flight got canceled kind of last minute because I remember I had my bags packed and in the car, and Austin and I went and got dinner before he was going to take me to the airport. And then my flight got canceled. I ended up not even going to the airport. We couldn't rebook for some reason.
But is that weird? This is 15 years of your life. Mm-hmm. And last year you're like, dude, I can't go.
I know. It is kind of weird because I always make an effort to go. And now that I live here, it's
that's
easy
why I brought it up,
peasy,
because you were even coming from out of town. You were coming over this.
Yes. Well, because it's such a big thing. And Downcountry has, I say, always been a part of my life. I mean, technically when I was really
of your
little
memory.
Yeah.
Since you were 10.
Yeah. Since I was 10, it's just kind of been this big, crazy thing that we do. And Rhinestones and Rodeo, I feel like, is always the big party that we do every year. It's kind of that thing where it's like, well, you can't miss it. We have so much fun. There's so much to do, so much just good social interaction with people. You leave there just feeling like you're on a high and you want to go out and just be the best person in the whole wide world.
Because actually, some of my favorite memories of Rhinestone and Rodeo is not actually the night of, it's the prep.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And meeting new people and working with new people and setting up and the social interaction.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's, Kate, go ahead.
I love the night, of course. But some of my memories that I think of are that.
It is the before. And we always bring in a speaker every year, and we're always super excited to see who it is. And I feel a little extra lucky as being someone involved in the prep is I not only get to listen to the speaker, but I get to talk to them beforehand and really hear their story and get kind of the details that they don't always share because you only have so much time, and so those are the things that I feel like not everybody gets throughout their childhood because not everybody has the life that I live, and I'm super grateful for it.
Well, I like it. What I like about it, and it's weird because a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, Mac's coming in! Yay! Come on in, Mac's here! Yay! He made it! Hop on in! There you go. Your caramel macchiato's right there. We got to take care of our Mac, our magnificent Mac.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You're good.
I hit every single red light on the way here somehow.
It happens. It's the season, which actually
that segues to what you wanted to talk about today.
This, as we were just talking, a lot of people will ask me oh my gosh, how do you enjoy the holiday season when you've got Rhinestones and Rodeo?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Right after.
Behind it. That's a really good point, and I never thought of that.
Well, you know what? It's because of what you guys were just talking about. I really enjoy it. It's incredibly fun. It doesn't stress me out to put together the silent auction items. It doesn't. It's more like a fun kind of continuation of the holiday season because I get to work with a lot of people. And ironically, over the holidays, the world kind of to a certain extent shuts down a little bit, or at least my world does. School's not in session, so there's more time to kind of, for me anyway, to breathe because most of the time, like, I've got school, we got ball games, we got this, we got that. I mean, I literally have a list today that I'm looking at, and Ryan was laughing as I was putting it together, because I think there's 20 items on this list that I need to get done today that I literally wrote down.
I expected more. I expected more.
Well, it is Kate.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right?
Yeah. So anyway, but one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was stress, holidays, but also what that looks like, quite frankly, from a disability perspective.
Yeah.
But then also just from one of the things that when we were talking before the show about is it's really hashtag everyone. It's like all of us, these techniques and things that you can do to work with. And ironically, I think I'm going to start with one of the very first things you can do is, there's a reason Santa makes a list. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the things that you can do to reduce your stress is to make a list.
I have a question for
Yes.
everybody. Have you ever put something on your list that wasn't on your list, but you just finished it and you wanted your list to look better?
Yes,
'Cause I do
absolutely.
that.
100%. Because I did it, so I need to be able to mark it off and put it on there.
But I think that goes to that stress thing. Like, you want to see you've measurable accomplishments.
Yeah.
Whoop, done that.
Okay, so one of the things.
Did you check it twice?
Yeah. One of the things when you talk about supports for people with disabilities is you talk about visual aids and visual prompts. And you talk about these things. Well, that's great. You talk about them. However, what I just heard two quote unquote totally typical people tell me is when they have that list and they are checking it off, it adds to like this sense of completion. It is a support. And you do boom, boom, check that list off. And I mean, if Santa did it, I feel like we should all take a clue there and sign in. But it's interesting. Occasionally I'll be in like a school-related meeting, Mac, where we're talking about ways to support, and I'll hear a professional who'll say things like, we need to phase out the visual aids. And when I hear that, I'm always like, no! That is a strength. Like, that's a huge strength, and that's something you can build on. Because, and if you're listening to this and you aren't a list maker, I'm just going to encourage you, actually try it. And it doesn't have to be, if you don't like to handwrite, put it on your phone. If you don't, like, whatever.
Yeah, they have the little circles on the iPhone now, so you can just check the circle. That works really well.
See, I put mine in my notes app, and then I put like a little emoji check next to it.
I do
so
notes, but you can change your notes to where it's like a bullet, and then you can check the bullet.
I should
and
try
then it moves to the
that.
bottom of the list because it's done.
Isn't
I
that
should
just
try
the
that.
Reminders app?
Oh, yes, Max, sorry.
what did you say?
It's the Reminders app, not that.
Oh,
not the
I got to
That's
switch
been
my
something for a
technique
while.
here. Okay.
I swear I do
Okay.
the notes. I'm going to check on the break.
So, now it was interesting. Before the show started, Jen Krupmeyer had stopped by to say hi and kind of meet everybody because we're going to see if we can get her on the show.
Yeah.
But one of the other supports that she brought up, because, she goes, what are you guys going to talk about today? And we're like, well, we're going to talk about stress management as it relates to disability and kind of intertwine it because it applies to hashtag everyone. And she's like, well, yoga's my answer to everything. And she was kind of like, I mean, she's a big yogi. And so you can say, oh, well, that's of course that answer, except truly one of the stress management techniques we taught Elliot incredibly early on, and I wish Penny was here because I know she does this with other kids. Deep breaths. Big deep breaths. Like when you start to stress out, literally there is something incredibly important about that simple act of breathing. And you can ask Olivia, because Elliot does this to the day. Like when he starts to kind of get something, you'll see him be like, deep breaths.
Yeah, he calms down.
Yeah, and it calms down. And you think about it, like, I do feel like yoga is something that's been growing, but it's one of those things that you are focusing on your breathing.
Yeah.
Ironically, a lifetime ago, and I had a cardiologist tell me this, he had a theory on smoking, on cigarette smoking, why it was so addictive. You can say, well, Kate, it was all about the nicotine. And he goes, no. He said, I have a lot of people who it's not the nicotine. They can go like all day without getting a nicotine fix. He said, think about how often you inhale and you exhale in the act of smoking a cigarette.
It's the deep breath.
It's the deep breath kind of
Wow.
thing. And then you go think about military usage of like all the soldiers used to smoke back in the 60s. Like everybody smoked in the 60s, but
Yeah.
you would have had it. However, in high stress times, like you see this, but it's
point.
it was a really interesting thing.
I
And
never
he
really
said,
thought about that.
Yeah, I've never
I
thought of
mean,
that.
the show is not condoning smoking or that you need to go pick up a cigarette.
It's
But it
just
take- but
somebody's theory on breathing.
Here's the reality, though. Again, whether that's or not, but like it, in a sense, it forces you to take a minute. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because you do take a minute, and again, not condoning it by any stretch of the imagination, like you're saying, but in the grand scheme of what you're saying, it forces you to take a minute to take some deep breaths, quite literally, and do that.
Well, and
we're
what-
doing that with our kids now. Like we try to tell them, like, hey, deep
Big breath,
you know.
breathe.
Yeah.
They get
Breathe.
annoyed because we tell them that all the time, but it's
It
something
forces
that,
them to stop. Too.
right. That's
Yes.
exactly it. It forces them to kind of breathe. I got another one for you, along those same lines. Breathing is great. Another one is your five senses. So like I have had panic attacks before. Like I think anybody has. But like it was always a thing where you're like, okay, what are 5 things you see? What are 5? What are 4 things you smell? You go down the list, and it could be in any order of see, sight.
Something to
all-
get you out of your brain.
all of a sudden you start looking and doing all this stuff, and what do you taste, what do you smell, what do you hear, what do you see, what do you feel, whatever, and the next thing you know, you're calm, like that, and so I know as a little trick like that, I've done that multiple times.
Yeah, that's
It helps big time.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I know it sounds simple, but it really it is a big
And
deal.
to Jen's point, the yoga is
Yeah.
both breathing and exercise.
That's exactly it.
Because obviously, especially if you're a typical person who exercises and then you get so busy in the holidays that you don't. But I think everybody can benefit from a walk or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. That's one of the next things on the list of stress management for people with disabilities. # all of us. When we come back in the next section, we'll talk a little bit about this because, well, it's something I always find ironic when it relates to people with Down syndrome. But when I tell you about it, you're going to be like, oh, wait, we all do that. And you're going to be like, oh. Anyway, for now, this is # everyone talking about # everything. Be right back. Good Sunday morning. This is # everyone talking about # everything. I'm Kate Doherty with the Radical Ryan, the lovely Laura, the high octane Olivia, because her name does cause some problems.
There it is.
And then we have the magnificent Mac. So, if you missed the first segment, we talked about Rhinestones and Rodeo. Get your tickets up at downcountry.com. Up at downcountry.com. And then we went into, it is the holidays. There is a stress management. We wanted to talk about it as it relates to people with disabilities, but also overall overarching for # everyone, right? In the first segment, we talked about it, breathing. We talked about visual aids, visual prompts, visual supports for all of us, checking the list, just like Santa does. And then right before we went on break, we started talking about the movement piece because in addition to the yoga piece, you have the movement piece. But one of the things, if you start studying about people with Down syndrome, that they'll talk about as some of their traits when they're high stress is they will pace
Oh,
or they will rock,
Okay.
or they will do self-talk. And you can say, well, and it's exaggerated because it's people with Down syndrome. However, I want you to think about what you do when you're stressed. I am a pacer. I will pace, like if I am stressed, I have to have movement. Like, there, and if you go to the local emergency room and you will see, typically there is somebody who's sitting there kind of gently rocking while they're waiting to be seen or while they're waiting on a family member. There will be somebody outside who will be pacing. And then very often you will find somebody kind of like over in a corner, kind of almost like mumbling to themselves or talking, not because they're having a mental health moment, but because they're like just kind of, it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I mean, I remember my mother-in-law who, when Elliot was born and they flew him and she went and stood over Elliot's cradle that night, and just the whole thing. Tony said she had repeated on the, "Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby, come on, baby," and she's praying. She had a rosary, and she's just praying, "Come on, baby, come on,
Right.
baby." And so, but that's self-talk. That's what that is. And so we all do it. So Ryan, what do you do? Are you a pacer? Are you a rocker? Are you a self-talker? What are you?
Probably a little bit of everything, if I'm being honest. I've self-talked before, to where I'm like, if I'm going into like a stressful day, I'd be like, all right, we're good, everything's good, we'll be all right, whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know if, well, I mean, I've paced before. I think self-talk is more of anything if I get really stressed out, and sometimes it's just literally talking out loud to the wife or something like that if she's kind of in earshot or whatever, and you're just kind of spitting things out. So yeah, I'd say self-talk.
What about you, Liv?
I think, and it's funny because I never even thought about it until you started going through those, and I'm realizing, like, I think I'm a rocker, weirdly, because I can just remember times of me just sitting, and it's not like I'm hardcore, like, throwing myself off, but just kind of some sort of movement,
yeah.
I think, is what makes me feel better. And self-talk a little bit, because like you said, I'll talk to myself like, okay, if I get this done, it'll be fine, it'll be okay, I can figure this out, that sort of thing. Not so much a pacer. But yeah, a rocker I think is probably my bigger one. Yeah.
I like that.
What about you, Mac? What do you think you are?
I pace.
You're a pacer.
My dad kind of does the same thing.
Do you pace when you study too?
No, not really.
No, pace when you study.
No, because, well, studying ain't that stressful. If it is for you,
Spoken like a
if it is
true
for you, then
brainiac.
you're
All
thinking
right,
about
good
it
for
too
you, man.
much. If studying's stressful for you, you're thinking about it too much. You just got to read just read the book or read the pamphlet,
And then spit out what you know.
and then really that's just about it.
What about you, Laura?
Well, actually, as you were going through those, I was thinking, do I do any of those? And then I thought about like some seriously stressful moments in my life. And I don't remember rocking, but I definitely talked to myself and paced. And I didn't just mumble.
Out loud thoughts.
But those are like, I don't think that's a typical stress response for me, but yes,
in
those high octane moments
high
that I
octane is what
can
we're talking
think
about here.
of, I was moving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it's interesting. So your little sister, and you probably are gonna. Ella will make fun of me. So I said I'm a pacer.
When does she not?
I know you're right. She does make fun of me a lot. True.
Your daughter's mean to you. Ella's mean to you.
16.
She's 16. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's God's way. It's preparing me for when she graduates. Anyway, but she, when I get like really mad or really focused, look, I'll be driving the car. And she'll be like, you are aware your lips are moving, right? Like no sound will be coming out, but I'm like talking to like myself and my inner dialogue, and my lips are absolutely. Have you seen me do this?
Oh, 100%. Because actually, when you said, oh, I'm a pacer, I was like, oh, I don't know about that, because I have seen you, especially in the car. That must be like your thing, which you are one of the few very weird people in this world. She does not listen to music on the radio. You get in the car with her and it is silent.
Ooh.
Which kills me because I always have to have music. But you'll start moving your hands and like doing the thing, like you can tell like you're having a conversation, but you're not. So yes, that is 100% you.
Person she can have an intelligent conversation with herself.
Yeah.
It's true though. I do that. I can't tell you that I don't do it. And here's the deal. In all due respect, it's very rare you will ever walk into my house and not have music going. I have music on in my house at all points in time, but in the car, absolutely not. I don't want talk radio. I don't want music. I want focus. And yes, and it's really
You're
bad.
going through the list in your head.
I am. It's so bad. Or I'm trying to figure out what to fit. Yeah. So my girls do make fun of me in that. So anyway, but those are things that people with disabilities do.
We all do. You're right.
Yeah.
Because hashtag everyone.
Oh, there he is.
See,
Mac showed
there you
up.
go. You're pulling it in,
I've always
Mac.
been here.
One of the other things.
I'm letting the grown-ups talk.
Oh, Mac, you're a grown-up now. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the other things, and this I don't always do the best with. It's setting boundaries. And
That's
that
a-
talks about like
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I mean, because there are these things that you want to do or expectations or.
And you don't want to seem shut out from things. It's like, but then again, I feel like that's just how more you're looking at yourself than people would look at you. You're always your own biggest critic most of the time.
I totally agree. So even the setting boundary thing, I should. So it's your own internal critique that you can't say no to something because, I should do that. I should, or whatever. So setting those boundaries, whatever they are, to Mac's point,
It's really tough.
it's on yourself.
But it is hard. I mean, because there's things that you love, and then it's trying to figure out what brings me joy, what doesn't bring me joy. And I think.
Well, I think this goes to the holidays too.
yeah.
Because this time of year, I mean, you started this whole conversation by people asking you, how do you do this? With the rhinestone right on the tail of the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so much to get done. Haha, I also self-talk. Because I was just thinking about, like, last week, I was so frustrated with myself. I didn't really have that much on my plate, and I forgot like 4 things. And then I self-talked all the way in the car. Olivia, pointed at Olivia. Because I'm like beating myself up. Worst critique. Okay, everything everybody just said. Because I forgot this junk that I shouldn't have forgotten. And I'm like talking to myself about how horrible of a person I am on my way to go do what I should have done and remember to do.
Yeah. Well, and I do think all of us do that. I mean, all of us do that. I mean, it's a totally.
I don't think that was stress management, though.
Oh.
I think that stressed me out worse.
Well, I think it did, but like at the same time too, you talking through it like you had to.
Well,
Did you
yeah.
feel after you were done like a little bit better or any sort of better? I mean, if not, then I mean it's a moot
Oh,
point,
I
but-
think I still beat myself up until I went to bed.
But here's the thing.
It was just a bad day.
We can't talk about stress management if we just completely ignore the source. I mean, because
Yeah.
then we need to figure out where it's kind of coming from, like,
Right.
I feel like that's the biggest thing. The first
But
thing
I
you need
did
to do is
wake up
kind of
the next
identify
day.
where it comes from.
Yeah.
And then you can start working on it. But if you just kind of ignore the cause and it just, no matter how much stress management you do, it's not really going to get better because you haven't really solved anything yet, necessarily.
Yeah,
It's just-
that's really interesting, Mac. I'm actually glad you kind of say that because you're right. Like, why are you feeling stressed?
Okay, so to just bring it all full circle,
Here it is.
Here we go.
yeah, you're exactly right. Because what did I do when I got home and I was still beating myself up? I made the stupid list so that I wouldn't do it again the next day.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be darned.
Well, look at you, Laura. You just talking a little crowd.
Wow.
What's going on,
It's really interesting because I'm thinking like about things that cause me stress, and I would say my stressors are weird, but maybe I'm not like
Everybody
things
has
that
weird
I don't
ones,
know
I'd
about you
imagine.
guys, but I have to bring a funny into it.
Okay.
Go
Because the
ahead.
minute that she said what causes me stress, she had to make sure she looked at Olivia.
Listen.
As soon as she, you know what causes me stress? I'm sitting there looking at her going, oh boy.
No,
Okay.
because it's okay. So
kidding.
weird things like
Well,
planning an
okay,
event-
Ryan, do your children cause you stress?
Every day.
See?
Children are a gift, but
Ryan,
they
just to
are a
make
bit
you feel
handle.
better, they're little and they cause you stress. I am 26 and I'm still causing my mama stress. So it's
doesn't end.
that whole 18 years thing.
Right.
Throw that out the window.
That's
It's
right.
forever and
tell you
Nobody
ever.
tells you that as a parent. They got all these books for how to raise a toddler.
My dad could attest to kids being stressors because when I was a little kid, I wouldn't eat a banana if it broke in half. I would have him get me a new one.
Every
Okay,
kid.
so this is where I'm going to
100%.
say I'm weird though.
Okay.
Truly.
We're all down for
So-
weird.
So, like planning an event for 720 people on January
Easy
10th.
peasy.
Easy peasy. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, like, I'll get it done. Not even worried.
Okay.
It's going to happen. Christmas for everybody. Don't worry. Boom.
But-
Got it. New Year's Eve. Like, not even bam. I can do it. Planning the cookies, baking it.
Yep.
No stress whatsoever. I'll figure it out. It'll get done. The weird things that cause me stress is like waking up in the middle of the night worrying I'm not being a good enough mom or a good enough daughter or a good enough so that's why I looked at her actually, not necessarily because she causes me stress, but because the worry, like, am I being the best mom that I can be? You know what I mean? Like, am I being
But I don't
the
think that
best?
makes you weird because what I'm thinking about my day last week, every one of those things I forgot Gosh, I'm about to cry. This is so weird. Whoa, dude. Anyway, it was because I let somebody down.
I know.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel
Dang.
you.
Well, and if you
no, it's that.
if
And
you
that-
think about it though,
yeah.
you say like, well, Rhinestones and Rodeo doesn't stress me out. Well, hey, it's the 15th, and we've been doing this for 15 years. To say we don't have that down to some sort of a science, we do. Christmas, you've been doing that for how many years? New Year's, like, it's those things that looking, I guess from the outside, you would think like, oh my gosh, 700 people, that's so stressful. We've done it, like. You think about those things that should be or would be stressful, but now they're just a part of your routine. Like, I started my new job a month and a half ago. I went in day one. I'm nervous. Month and a half in, I'm not nervous anymore. It's my everyday. So it's just kind of the things that you get used to, that not that they're not stressful anymore, but you've just learned how to do them, I guess.
And I will also say, and Mac and Olivia and Ryan, for me and Laura, I would say this is different, because when I was kind of in your all's, that decade that you guys are in, I don't know that I worried about disappointing anybody. Like, it wasn't part of my norm. I know I didn't have that same kind of self-talk. And yet in my 50s, that is, like you said, it's, I don't want to let down my parents. I don't want to let down my kids. I don't want to let down my friends. And right now, by the way, just so you know, I am failing my friends hardcore because there's not enough of me. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not. And that makes you feel, that really does cause stress. And then, like, when I look at, like, with Elliot, what causes him stress, first of all, I would much rather be Elliot, because Olivia's right. Like, I don't know that he stresses all that much. However, he worries about people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if people are upset, that upsets Elliot. And I will say, there's something about him. He absorbs.
I've always said Elliot's got that weird sixth sense when it comes to people.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, we were just talking about Ella, and not to put her on the spot, because I do too, but she's a 16-year-old girl. So you know what? It doesn't take too much to get her a little riled up. But
Very fair.
like, on days where she is really and truly stressed or upset, like, Elliot feels it. And there's a difference between, like, the, oh, I had a bad day at school, I'm mad, whatever, and the, like, very truly, like, upset and stressed about something. And he picks up on that so well. And he will ask, like, is Ella okay, or is Olivia okay? Like, what's, like, he just knows. And you don't even have to come in the house and have a blow up or anything like that. He just feels it. He's so good at that.
And then
Always
he'll-
has been.
And he'll worry, and he'll write letters, and he'll do all the things to try and get
Yeah.
you back on
Oh,
base. Anyway, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this, and hopefully some of these things are helping you figure out stress over the holidays, or just stress in your life in general, and realizing you are not alone. It's hashtag everyone. Good Sunday morning. This is hashtag everyone, talking about hashtag everything. I'm
I
Kate
like that Mac
Doherty.
threw in the drums. I don't know if anyone could hear that over the microphone, but that was pretty
Different,
good.
I liked it.
All right, we got the radical Ryan, we got the high octane Olivia, we got the lovely Laura. No practically perfect Penny, but we do have the magnificent Mac. And we have been talking about Rhinestones and Rodeo coming up. Get those tickets up at downcountry.com. But we've also been talking about stress management techniques for people with and without disabilities. Hashtag everyone. Not just over the holiday season, but kind of as you go throughout life. And one of the things that actually, weirdly, when we were on break, Olivia kind of brought it up when she was talking to Laura about a decision she made, good boundary setting, to not travel over a weekend, because she's like, it was going to be a disruption, and it was going to cause her stress. She wasn't going to enjoy it. And so she said no.
Good on you, by the way, setting boundaries.
Thank
Well,
you.
it is good
Yeah.
boundary setting. But that is one
But
of
I
the...
never thought of that as boundary setting, because I always think of setting boundaries as like
More
that
like a
would've-
harsh negative, like a,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to do this.
I'm
or,
not going to
no,
put
I
up with
can't."
that.
Yeah.
That's the boundary that I normally think of. I'm
Here's
not
the
going to
thing.
put up with that.
Stuff like that takes a lot of different forms that you wouldn't think of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
her
there's no
story.
concrete like definition of how you set them.
Yeah.
It can take a lot of different forms.
It's a self-care.
It-
That's
and I never
self-care
thought about
boundary.
it that way.
Yeah.
But what you described, deciding for your own self, this is stressing me out too much. I know it would be fun, but I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's like giving up something good for yourself, which is the self-care, which is Mac's point. Thank you, Mac. I just never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Well, and I think that kind of goes into the next thing. And people can make fun all you want, but the routine. And I do think typically in life, people have a routine of what they do. Whether it's a extremely strict routine or whether I always said we operate in our household by outline format, meaning yep, we're going to get up in the morning, we're going to we're going to do eat breakfast, we're going to get on, we'll do our day. I mean, when my kids were little, we had loose nap times. We didn't have like an 11 a.m. But typically in the evenings, you're going to find a point in time where we're going to be, you know what I mean? Probably about 7-ish. We're going to be kind of winding down. We eat typically about somewhere between 7:30 to 8:30. In summertime, it's more like 9, 10. But typically we're in bed by 10. That's like kind of our typical daily routine. One of the things the holidays do is, and quite frankly, any times of like weddings, funerals, I mean, like big events, is it throws you out of this routine. And I think for some people, they need a very structured routine. Yeah. And other people can go a little bit more. But I do think that can cause you stress because it also goes into things like lack of sleep. Yeah. And then when you start to stress, you don't sleep very well. And then when you don't sleep very well, I mean, then
you wake up the next day and eat lots of sugar to keep you awake all day.
Right. Yeah.
And then that throws you off.
And that leads into bad nutrition, which leads into, I mean, all the different pieces. And so it kind of becomes this cycle that really can cause a lot of issues. And then what happens, because one of the things they talk about here, yes, Mac? Sorry.
And even worse, if it's something that's really sudden, it's like that you had pretty much no notice of happening. That's when it gets even worse, I'd imagine, because for me, like, I'm a big scheduler. Like, I can base my routine around those things that you were just talking about, but what gets me most out of whack, you could say, is when it's just so sudden and it just kind of pops up.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, Mac, you need to be at TGIF in 10 minutes.
Wait,
you're
what?
like, what, you didn't know I needed to do that.
Nobody told me that. No.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's very interesting because that to me is, I try to do this, like, as we're scheduling things, like, I feel like there's an over communication piece that is very important during the holiday season, like with things that are coming up, because some people are okay with a last minute. I mean, Laura,
I'm just not a spontaneous person.
Yeah, and that's okay, and I like that you recognize that. I will say Laura and I have a tendency to be more spontaneous because
Oh yeah, I can tell.
but actually Olivia isn't, and her dad isn't.
I would say that is something I am a hardcore routine person, especially throughout the work week, because I have to, if I'm waking up at 4:40 in the morning, I have to leave the house by 5:25. I'm at work at 6. I'm there until 4:30. Then I go to the gym. Then I go home. I'm in bed by 8:30. Like, that is my routine. And I love it when Kate calls me after work and she's like, hey, we're going to head over to like Quincy Brew and grab a drink. And do I want to do that? Absolutely. But then I think, well, if I don't go to the gym today, I have to go on Thursday because I need to go at least this many times a week. And if I go on Thursday, then I have to, and then it's like, holy crap, why is it that complicated? But it's because I'm such a routine person. Now, if you were to tell me today, hey, 3 days from now after work, we're going to go do this, boom, easy. It's in the schedule. But calling me and being like, meet us there in 10, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, please, I can't. So,
yeah, Ryan, you're nodding because you obviously with your job, you have to be.
I'm a very routine person, 100%. I'm the exact same way of what you just described. Kids have forced me to not be.
oh yeah.
That's forced me to get completely out of my comfort
That's
zone.
the biggest changer for a
Everything.
lot of people. It's just
I have had to completely change, like, now, does it still stress me out? Yeah. Like, when I feel like I have something that I need to do and then, like, kids throw a wrench in it, absolutely. Like, the other day, we had dance class on Tuesday. I solo dadded it. I took them to dance, and I figured, okay, we're going to go here, then we're going to get done with dance, we're going to go home, we're going to eat, we're going to do this, 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 and this. Well, they weren't having it at dance. Weren't listening, nothing. And I had to make the call. I'm like, we're going home. Like, I pulled them. I'm like, we're going to go home. You're not going to listen. We're going to go. And it threw, like, time-wise off everything we were doing. But it's like you just have to, you have to adjust, and it's weird because I still am not good at it, but it's forced me to have to be good at it. Now, I will say the spontaneous, like, hey, we're going here. Do you want to go? I'm the same way where I'm like, oh, if I don't do this, I gotta do this. But I love when I go. Like
Yes.
it's one of those things where like you feel good when you do it because in the moment you're kind of like, oh well, crap, but what about dinner? But what about the kids? But what about this? What about? And you start going through this checklist in your mind. But then when you're like, screw it, I'm gonna go, and you go. When you get there, if it does feel though like a weight's lifted off your shoulders, you're like, yeah, heck yeah, I made this.
Oh, I
decision
got
to
a little
go.
bit out of my.
Yeah.
So when you were just talking, I was thinking about actually you all were talking, and I started thinking about something with Elliot, and I just kind of had this moment of, so Elliot is very flexible. I mean, like I am very fortunate and very flexible, but I started thinking about something. And every morning when he wakes up, and like he will ask, "What are we doing tonight? What are we having for dinner? We have plans for tomorrow? Are you have a meeting, Mom?" And he'll ask me these things, and it's weird because I never thought about it as a stress management technique for him. Because I've always been like, "Elliot, I don't know what I'm doing." You know what I mean? Like, or Elliot, I don't know. But he wants to know, like,
Plan ahead.
what is the plan for this evening? What is the plan? Like, what are we having for supper? Are we having? And he will. You've heard him do it.
He
I mean,
does, and sometimes I don't think we always even think about that for, I would say, kids in general, because they're asking like, well, what's the routine? What are we doing? And sometimes as an adult, we can just say like, well, we're doing like whatever we need to do to get done. It doesn't matter. You're with me, whatever. Well, then they're flying blind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as
It's
an
the first
adult,
thing.
I would lose it if someone told me like, don't worry about it. You're just going to come with me for the day. Because then I'm like, well, where are we going to eat? What if I get hungry? What am I supposed to wear? Like all of these questions. And I think sometimes we discount kids for that because we're just like, oh, you're a kid. You're along for the ride. Whatever. You don't need to know. I would lose it.
Oh, my 3-year-olds are already doing that. Like if I'm getting myself ready to roll, they're like, Dad, where are you going? And again, they're 3, so it's not as
Yeah.
like much, but it's still like, Dad, you going to work?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm just going out to the garage to grab something. But like, where are you going? What are you doing? And like, yeah, you don't think about it. You're like, what do you mean? Just keep watching your cartoons. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, they are in their mind stressed in their own way, probably to be like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going?
You don't think
What's
about the
going on?
3-year-old needing a plan for their day too,
Right.
because it's like, you're 3. What do you need to get
Exactly.
done? But to like,
Little bit.
they're little
It
people
reduce-
too.
it
They
reduces
need
stress.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Well, and there's a very successful teaching it's like first then.
Yeah.
And even when you have visual schedules, which goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of school, the visual prompts and the visual reminders, you have the visual charts, you do this, you do this. I mean, there's a reason these things are extremely successful when you whether it's with a picture or with a whatever, that you map out the day for the children, you see improvements in behavior all the way across because they know what's coming next. And kids even though they're little, they know how to process, like, okay, when I'm at Mimi's house, this is how I'm supposed to behave. When I'm at school, this is how I'm supposed to behave. When I'm at dance, this is what I'm supposed to do. To your point, and so it does become those very different pieces, but I kind of feel bad. I'm having guilt again. I feel like I've let down Elliot. Here I go. I'm experiencing stress because I'm like, oh, I've really kind of, and weirdly, I'm the one who's like, he needs to use his phone to get his schedule done. He needs to do these things. But yet at the same time, when he's asking me that, I don't think until we started having this conversation, I realized he's literally just wanting to know what's coming next in that routine.
Yeah, I almost feel like just back to the visual aid, like just a calendar for him would be good. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
it's so easy peasy.
Just a family daily little thing.
Yeah, like a
Boom.
visual, put it on the fridge or next to the front door or wherever. And quite frankly, it would probably help with some of the chaos of Dad's going here, Ella's going there, Elliot's doing this, Kate, Olivia, Austin, all the people are here, there, and everywhere. Like, hey, it's all just right here and we can look at it. And I don't
And
have
if you're
to
listening to
guess
this show,
what the
it is
heck's
official.
going on.
My life is chaos. There you go. There is no doubt about it. And as we get ready, but it's a beautiful
You can't
chaos.
map out every single thing you do all day long, but change is hard.
Outline.
So if the routine is going to be off in some
Yeah.
way, set that expectation in advance. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, throwing it out there.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. I hope it's helped you understand, #everyone has stressors, whether you're a person with a disability, whether you aren't a person with a disability. And I hope that you've enjoyed this conversation and maybe helped you think a little bit more about ways that you can help manage your stress over the holiday season and just throughout the year. Otherwise, not to cause stress, but can you please please get your tickets to Rhinestones and Rodeo. www.upatdowncountry.com.
And who do you call?
At 217-617-3568. And we would be grateful and thankful for your love and support this holiday season. For now, this is hashtag everyone talking about hashtag everything. See